Hi, I'm Joni Kisro. Today I want to talk to you about the pancake dies. Just give you a few little tips and tricks here that I do. Now, the majority of the dies come out perfectly every time. I'm just showing you some things if you have any difficulties. This is a flour pancake die, and what I do is I look at the size, the thickness of the pancake die, and I want my metal to come out twice the thickness of the pancake die. If you go any closer, say if I cut it off like this close, just squeezing that in, and you think that works, sometimes the metal gets sucked down in there and gets stuck, and it's really hard to get out. So I try to go all the way around, at least twice the thickness of the actual pancake die. Now, if you have it coming out here, you know, if you want to really get as much out of your metal piece as you can, and you cut this out so you can fit one right in here, that's going to get a hard line put in there. So for me, I would just cut it off where I drew this line and just put the piece in there that as big as you need, but not any bigger. Example, this one here, the boot, I can fit that in there, you see. It's twice the thickness all the way around, but the way this angles down, because this is a scrap piece, I want to cut this whole angle off, because if you put that piece in like that, it's definitely going to get stuck in there, and you don't want that. You want to just give it a nice clean cut so it won't get stuck in your pancake die. Now, the pancake dies I have here, I like to use about a 22 gauge. You can use thicker. But if you're using a very small pancake die, say an inch or smaller, then you could use 24 gauge. That's okay. And you can go up to, well, I go up to about 18, 16 gauge. That's about as big as thick as I go up to, but you can use thicker. And if you have any questions, you can always ask the maker, who is Kevin Potter. So I'm going to go ahead and take you over to the press. Okay, here's my flour, and I just have a little piece of tape. I use Scotch tape. I never use masking tape or painter's tape. When I have before, it really sticks when the press comes down, and you have to get Goo Gone to get that off. So you see I have my metal coming out about twice the thickness all the way around. Okay, you see I have a line here, it goes straight back, so I know I'm centered there. And then I have a line on my platen here and here, so I know that the cross line in there is where I'm going to want to center my design in there. Now, if I had textured this, I would want textured side in the window. I call this side the window. But now if you're using a right and a left, this might not say this side down because it's turned over to be the right and left. So as long as your window side is down in the press, that's what's important. So textured side in the window, window side down in your press. Okay, so I'm going to slide that right in there. I do also want to tell you that the most important thing is for me, the entire pancake die is within the platen. These are aluminum platens. You don't need steel. I just use aluminum. All right, then just bring that down. So there's my flour. Okay, now I'm going to get chain nose pliers and just work that off. Now, sometimes they come off easily. I'm going to get this tape off here. Sometimes with a detailed pancake die, you have to kind of work it a little bit. Okay, it's coming off pretty nicely. But, you know, sometimes they don't. So don't think it's your fault or anything. It's just the pancake die that, you know, it has real sharp detail in there. So, you know, that's just the way it is. But believe me, I would rather work at getting this out a little bit than sawing the whole thing out with a jeweler saw. So, now if you could see that, I did have to work on that a little bit. So that's why I'm showing you this in detail so you won't, get upset if it happens to you. Now, at this point, I would try to push it out with my thumbs. It's not coming out, so I'm gonna move the camera and show you how I get that out. I just take the edge of the pancake die. I make sure that my flour is not over the edge of the bench, just the edge of the pancake die. I hold my hand underneath it and I take either a rawhide mallet or a rubber mallet and I'm just going to tap it. Well, sometimes it takes more than a tap. Okay, so now it's come out perfectly. These are pretty good sized burrs right here. And there's a few people that get upset about the burrs, but I just want you to see that burr. That's why I chose this particular pancake die. See that? Now, you could file it off, or you could clip it off and then file. So I want to go ahead and clip that off. Make sure with everything I've shown you today, make sure you're wearing your safety glasses. That's very important. So there's the burr, and I'm going to just get in there and cut that burr. So there, the burr's gone there. And then if you see right up here as well, that's a lot of burrs there. So I just go in and clip those off. These are really, really good cutters. They get really close. So that's important, just these little, tips that I'm showing you today. Nothing is wrong with the pancake die. You didn't do anything wrong. Everything is right. But just the detail on this particular die and some of the dies, you will have that. There's no way around it. So for me, a little bit of cleanup is way better than sawing this out with a jeweler saw. I've marked where I'm going to cut my tab off. And I'm going to saw that off because it's really hard to cut with any shears or anything, an inverted cut. Okay, after I cut the tab off, I take it over to my belt sander and I just go around just the edges just to get that roughness off. You could file it if you don't have a belt sander, but this belt sander is great for many things. I use it every day. So I'm going to show you how I just take just the edge off. And now I'm going to just take it over and just file it with some salon files just to smooth it out perfectly. There's a lot of metal files that you could use, and the metal files basically you should only go in one direction. So I like to use the salon files. You can get them anywhere, Sally's, Beauty Supply, or order them online. But with the salon files, I can go in any direction. Now you could also take it over if you have a belt sander, which I do, and that's what I usually work on. But if you don't, you just get a salon file and just really get in there at an angle so it's nice and smooth all the way around. I'm Joni Kisro, and thank you for watching.